Steeler Nation, the black and gold, are on a mission. Every single practice, every single rep, every single decision from the front office to the locker room is about one thing: getting better, sharper, stronger, and bringing you the results you deserve. Now, before we dive into today's very interesting rumor, plus some important injury updates, make sure you smash that like button, because it really helps push this video out to more Steelers fans. And if you're new here, hit subscribe so you don't miss a second of this wild 2025 season. Here's the situation: the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver room heading into the 2025 season. Pretty solid. DK Metcalf, the obvious star one of the most physically gifted receivers in football, is going to draw plenty of double coverage this year. We've got Calvin Austin III, a speedster with the ability to stretch defenses, and Roman Wilson, a second-year guy who's hungry to prove himself, but not everyone's convinced that's enough. And here's where things get spicy. On Tuesday, a little ripple went through NFL social media when a fake Adam Schefter account claimed Odell Beckham Jr. was retiring. Cue the panic, cue the takes, and cue Beckham himself jumping on to shut it all down. No, he's not retired. No, he's not hanging up the cleats. The man still wants to play. Now, why is that important for us in Pittsburgh? Because for months, there's been this little whisper, this what if, about Beckham teaming up with Aaron Rodgers in the Steel City. Rodgers has reportedly wanted to play with Beckham at some point in his career, and Beckham, being available, keeps that door cracked open. Now let's be clear, right now, there's no confirmed movement from Omar Khan or Mike Tomlin to bring him in, and on paper, the Steelers are basically set at receiver. We carried just 5 wideouts last year, probably 6 max this season. Metcalf, Wilson, Austin, Scotty Miller, Ben Skowronek, those guys are locks. That leaves Robert Woods and undrafted rookie ROC Taylor battling for the final spot. If you bring in Beckham, that's a serious shakeup. To that battle. Now, let's talk reality. Beckham's 32 years old. Last year with Miami, just 9 catches for 55 yards. That's not prime OBJ. And Woods, the veteran already in camp, has been learning Arthur Smith's offense all summer. Beckham would be walking in cold, but the risk is minimal. This is a future Hall of Fame quarterback in Rodgers, coming into what could be his last shot at a ring, adding another veteran target with playoff experience. That's tempting. Even if Beckham isn't the explosive threat he once was, he could be a red zone option, a safety net if injuries hit dot. And in this league, depth matters. We've seen how quickly things can change. Which brings us perfectly to our next topic: injuries. Let's start with Calvin Austin III. He went down on August 1st during Friday Night Lights and hasn't practiced since. For a while, fans were worried. Was this a serious setback? Was our WR2 in jeopardy for Week 1? Good news, Mike Tomlin finally gave us some light at the end of the tunnel. Sounds like Austin is almost fully healed and could be back soon. That's huge, because early in the offseason, WR coach Zach Atzani made it clear. Austin was penciled in as the number 2 guy opposite Metcalf. But here's the thing: while he's been sidelined, other guys like Roman Wilson have been making a serious case for that spot. Wilson's been catching everything thrown his way in camp, and even made 2 strong receptions in the preseason opener against Jacksonville. When Austin comes back, he's going to have to hit the ground sprinting to keep that WR2 job. That's a battle to watch all the way up until Week 1. Now, let's shift to Jonnu Smith. Steelers fans, I know this one's been frustrating. The guy was brought in to be a Swiss Army knife for this offense, lining up at tight end, in the slot, even taking some reps in the backfield. He's coming off a career year with Miami, and the idea was to plug him into Arthur Smith's offense as a mismatch nightmare. But so far, he's been on and off the field with multiple nagging injuries. Mike Tomlin says the hope is that some extended rest back in Pittsburgh will help, especially getting him out of the St. Vincent College heat. But until he's practicing full-time, it's hard to picture him making the consistent impact we envisioned. In his absence, though Darnell Washington has been balling out, we're talking red zone touchdowns, sharper route running, and looking like a legitimate threat in the passing. Gameness from a guy some people thought might move to offensive tackle. That's depth paying off right there. And speaking of versatility, let's talk Jalen Ramsey. This man is everywhere. lining up at corner, safety, you name it. He's healthy again, making plays in practice, and looking every bit the leader we traded for. In a secondary that's going to face some elite passing attacks this year, Ramsey's flexibility could be the difference between a big stop and a big play allowed. Let's start in Latrobe, where training camp at St. Vincent College is winding down. But the storylines just keep heating up. Rookie quarterback Will Howard, fresh off a national championship with Ohio State, was starting to find his groove at camp before disaster struck. Last Tuesday, during a center exchange, Howard felt something wrong. At first, he thought he'd just jammed a finger, but when he realized he couldn't grip the ball, he knew it was more serious. The diagnosis: a fractured bone in his right hand. No surgery needed, but still a frustrating setback for the 24-year-old. Howard was candid when he spoke to reporters. "It sucks. Every ounce of me wants to be out. They're playing. It kills me. It was just a freak accident." But it's about how you respond and how you handle adversity. Now, here's where it gets tricky. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says Howard could be out at least 3 weeks. But Mike Tomlin is leaving the door open, calling him week to week. That means there's still a chance he could play in one of the last 2 preseason games. Howard himself, he's staying ready just in case. "I don't know. I hope so," he said. "If that opportunity does present itself, I'll be ready." This is a big deal because preseason reps are golden for a rookie QB. The Steelers drafted Howard to develop behind the scenes, but also to see what he can do when the lights are on. And just as he was settling in, boom, setback. The good news: he's still getting all the mental reps, staying locked in during meetings, and keeping himself in game shape. From a rookie's challenge to a veteran's battle, Cam Hayward is not just a cornerstone of this defense. He's the heart and soul of the Steelers' locker room. But right now, Hayward is making headlines for something off the field: his contract dispute. Last week, reports surfaced that Hayward was conducting a hold-in during camp, present at practice but not fully participating due to dissatisfaction with his current deal. On Monday, Hayward confirmed it, and when asked if this could turn into a regular season holdout, he didn't shut it down. "There are definitely options out there that could reflect that," Hayward told reporters. "I'm looking to be valued. I know what I bring to this team on and off the field." Let's remember, Hayward signed a 3-year, $45 million extension just last September. But according to him, there was a mutual understanding with the Steelers front office. If he turned in another All-Pro season, they'd talk about a raise. And guess what? In 2024, he did exactly that. First team All-Pro for the first time since 2021. Hayward's resume speaks for itself. 14 years in Pittsburgh, 211 games, 4th most in franchise history. Multiple Pro Bowls, a proven leader, but in the NFL, sentiment and history only go so far when it comes to contracts. The Steelers' front office will have to decide how much they're willing to invest in a player who's still elite, but also 36 years old. These two stories might seem unrelated: a rookie QB's injury and a veteran's contract standoff, but they both touch on the same theme: depth and stability. For Will Howard, the Steelers need to know who's ready if injury strikes in the quarterback room during the season. Preseason snaps would have been a big step toward answering that question. Now, they'll have to evaluate him in limited action, or maybe not at all until 2025 for Cam Hayward. The issue is leadership and continuity. You can't put a price tag on what he brings to the locker room, but you can measure his impact. On the field, if negotiations drag on or if he misses time, the ripple effect on the defense could be huge, especially in a division loaded with offensive firepower. Here's what to watch: will Howard's hand heal fast enough to see preseason action? That could impact not just his development, but also roster decisions at QB3. Will Cam Hayward and the Steelers reach an agreement before Week 1? Or will this standoff spill into the season, testing the next man up mentality? Mike Tomlin has built his reputation on keeping the team focused amid distractions. But this August, he's juggling both future planning and present-day challenges: a rookie QB hungry to prove himself, and a veteran icon demanding the respect he believes he's earned. So here's where it all ties together. If Austin's recovery lingers, if Smith can't stay on the field, if we have any setback in that receiver room, that's where a move for Beckham could make more sense. You're not bringing him in to be WR1 or even WR2. You're bringing him in as a veteran depth piece with big game experience. And as a guy Aaron Rodgers has openly admired. Would it be a gamble? Absolutely. But it's the kind of low-cost, higher-reward move that could pay off in January, not August. Now, I want to hear from you, Steeler Nation, right here in the comments. Do you want to see OBJ in the black and gold catching passes from Rodgers? Or do you think we're fine rolling with the guys we have? And while you're at it, give me your prediction. Who wins the WR2 battle? Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson? This 2025 season is already shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent Steelers history. Between the Rodgers arrival, the WR battles, the injury comebacks, and these veteran rumors, there's never a dull moment in Pittsburgh. So if you're as hyped as I am, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're locked in for every single update, rumor, and piece of breaking news. Until next time, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.